Welcome, everyone, to the Laugh Track Podcast, the first video podcast. Our guest today is probably a man I owe a lot to. And go ahead.
I'm Jaden Miller, and I guess I'm the guest today. So-called director of our working project so far.
So that's one thing I obviously wanted to talk about is you didn't do comedy.
No.
So what the fuck made you take this on?
Dude,
How bored were you in your schedule that you had nothing going on?
I don't know. I mean, I just honestly wanted to do something different. I mean, I wanted more stuff, a part of like the typical resume or whatever. But also like, I figured that it would help me out just in general, just to be like, all right, well, I'm used to writing like super serious stuff, so why not try and do something different and see where that can go? So
yeah,
I was like, why not?
That thing is because we met because you were using a location, and we didn't know each other.
No.
And I was like, hey, I wrote this thing. Can you read it? And what was your initial reaction of reading it? Just
I remember looking at it and being like, okay, this is definitely a major difference than what I'm used to. I mean, usually someone is at least being yelled at in a super, like someone's fighting and getting punched in the face, getting shot, something along those lines. But I was like, all right, this is definitely a foundation of what we can go forward with. And I was like, all right, it's funny. That's an important thing in comedy. So, but yeah, I was like, all right, let's go for it.
Yeah, because, we were filming it was a week or two ago. And so this is the first real project of this size I've taken on. Mm-hmm. And we had a location change.
Yeah. I mean, that's a nice political way to say it. Yeah.
Now, you've been working on Secrets, and you've done a ton of other projects. I didn't know if I was overreacting or underreacting to the situation that we were given.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, because I feel like I've had that situation before.
Yeah.
At least vaguely similar. So I don't know. I was actually surprised that I didn't freak out that much. I felt like I was actually, for the most part, pretty calm. But it was I'd say you were in the middle, in terms of super bad, super, just nothing. I would be too. No, 100%. I was pissed too. But no, I mean, it was definitely a tough situation. I mean, I'll let you go more into that, but it was, it was rough.
It's just, I'm trying to be so nice about it.
Yeah.
But the unprofessionalism that was kind of presented to us was just astounding. More or less, we were told that we couldn't film somewhere a half hour after we were supposed to get in the building.
Yeah, I never had really seen something like that before. Never been in a situation like that. I've been in situations where it's like a public location and something changes. I remember I filmed at some lighthouse, and we had went, however many weeks prior, and perfect lighthouse, looks great. And then we get there day of, and there's construction being done on it, and we couldn't film, it was, so we had to adjust. But never something where it was like, okay, you're actively dealing with someone, and then it's 30 minutes after, day of, it's not great. It's not great even before that. You know what I mean? Before the appointed time.
Everyone was there.
Yeah,
everyone was there.
Yeah, everyone was there. Cast, crew. I remember Brian being he coming up to me, being like, "Yo, what's going on? Are we gonna get in, or what's happening?"
It's smart he went up to you, because if you come up to me, I'd be like, if we could get in the fucking place, Brian, we would have been in the fucking place.
I don't know. It was a rough situation, and we did the best we could with it. You know, I mean, I was happy with what came out of it.
I would say what we got was good.
Oh, 100%.
And everyone was, understanding and a trooper about it. So
at least that's what they told us.
Yeah,
that's what they say. But behind closed doors, like, come on, these jokers, man. What are they doing?
I've got something for you off podcast. I want to tell you.
Okay, all right. Yeah, tell me afterward.
But one thing is, I was just like flipping through the script or whatever, and like just thinking about when I'm getting ready for this, and we were supposed to have Eliza with us, and there was some confusion where she was supposed to do a short film with Olivia, who was helping us out one day. Right. And in Olivia's short film, I don't know if you watched it.
No.
It's really good. But there is a sex scene in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why when she came on, I was like, okay, so what we have to do in the scene is child's play.
Right.
But she sends me her short film, and I'm like, oh, I'll just watch it. I'm in the middle of a fucking Ulta Beauty. And it's like these two people are fucking. And then I was like thinking about it, and I was like, I don't think I could do that. Like,
yeah.
I wouldn't want to hear myself, like, or what I think I sound like. Like, you know what I mean?
Dude, I've never done a scene like that.
I think I'd fuck it up and overdo it. That's what
yeah, that's what I would be scared of. I would be scared of that.
Yo, keep going, Brand. Actually,
I would be afraid if someone would be like, "Yeah, I think you're getting a little too much into it." Like, like something like that. That would be my nightmare. I could not do it. I would have to have so much prep. And they do that. And she, I haven't worked with Olivia that much, only that time on set. But just like immediately getting there, like immediately you understood, like, okay, this is as little as thing. I mean, it was a kiss in the scene.
Yeah.
As little as it was like, hey, look, this is what we're doing. I remember I had like a whole worksheet, with all this stuff, and I remember going over. I'm like, okay, like she's legit about this, and I had never saw that, because I never done like a big intimate scene. I mean, whatever size intimate scene, I've never done that. So handling like that. And the way she handled it was impressive to me because, again, I never had worked with that.
That was the thing is, when we were rehearsing it, I've known Eliza for a couple of years now, and we're like staring at each other, and it's like you have to just stop the part of your brain that knows them. And they were both like, "Are you good?" I was like, "I'm fucking shitting myself right now." Because they're both just like so professional or whatever, and I was pacing back and forth like I had fucking ants in my pants. So, but Olivia was great with just calming down, being like, "You're good, like everything's fine." Like,
I mean, I think the good thing about that in that situation is that like you said, like you had known her, so it's like, all right, yeah, we know each other. Yeah, there's a little bit awkward, but it's not that big of a deal, kind of thing. So yeah, I mean that's.
I just felt bad between rehearsal and shooting. She got dropped off both times by her boyfriend. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a little bit awkward. Yeah.
I was like, he doesn't want to come in.
Dude, I couldn't do that. I mean, that's the thing when you date somebody who's like in that kind of like an actress, right? Like that's tends to be the roles that eventually they would get. So, I don't know if I could do it, like to mentally like separate and be like, oh, this isn't like she's acting, this person's act. Like, yes, that, but it's also like visually, this is your person, So
I'd feel we're doing that and being like, hey man, thanks for showing up, by the way.
Oh no, I would have cried laughing. I would have walked out the room. I'm like, no way, I can't do that.
I was like, just don't pop down. She's like, he doesn't want to be fucking 100 feet from here.
I don't blame him. I straight up couldn't do it. I couldn't.
No, I can ask this because I really don't know.
Sure.
Secrets is coming out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What was the process of doing that?
It's such a massive just process. I mean, I remember in, I don't know what year it was, probably junior year, sophomore year, whatever it was, in college. We obviously have to make the semester of film for the class, and I remember I had like this basic idea, and I was like, all right, let me just keep it simple, because that's what everyone did. It's like, just write a couple of pages, get it done for the class, but do something that you like, that's cool. But I'm like, I kind of don't want to just do that for the class. That's how I always felt. It was, it's for the class, whatever, who cares, get everything done in the last, a week of, and then just get it done. And that's not what I wanted to do. And I was like, well, I write like a madman. So I'm like, all right, let me do something that I actually want to do. And not for the class, more so myself. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right, well, I have this idea that I've been working on since like high school. And I was like, all right, well, let me test it out now in college. Why not? Yeah. Throw a couple hundred in there and call it a day. It probably was like a couple thousand, but what are you going to do? And I was like, okay, well, once I got like the idea pulled from my original idea, I'm like, okay, this is the foundation. This is what we're going to work with. This is what I can actually do with the experience that I had. I was like, all right, give it a shot. Why not? And turned out way better than I had expected it to. I was so worried about it. I'm like, man, pouring all this time, money, and effort to get like, I would always be like so. I don't even know what the right word is to like nitpick like the shots and stuff. But like, is this like, is this a representation of how much I've done to like get it to be this? Is this good? And it's like, well, you say what's good, like you. Yeah, I mean, of course it's subjective, So, and I was happy with what came out of it. So.
No, you work with Gav on that?
Yeah, Gavin was on that one.
Because you guys worked on a couple of things. That's why when you took on Maddox, it was you're like, oh, I'm bringing on my Gavin. He's the same photographer. I've worked with him. I was more or less just like, you got the keys to the fucking kingdom to do who you ever want to bring on. Brought Max back. That was the best decision.
Yeah, no, I love Max. Max is really chill. And he just like throw him and be like, yo, man, we really need someone to hold the boom. Okay, all right, yeah.
He'll do
whatever.
it.
Yeah, he'll do it.
I remember we were filming, I think it was just me in the bedroom. He had to hold up the light, and I think it was like slightly drizzling that day, and he just stood out there. He did not care.
No, I remember that. That was sometimes like you just need people like that. That's just
willing to show up and just put in the effort.
Yeah. That's half the battle right there, just showing up. Especially with like, indie projects. We're just like, all right, we're all kind of free this weekend. Let's just come together. All right, let's just get it done real quick. But
and I think we've been very lucky where everyone who's come on has just been game and just really good to work with.
I remember like after the first set, I don't remember what we shot the first weekend. I think it was like between you and Sarah or
yes.
Okay.
I remember the first day was short. We were outside, and I remember it was freezing, and I was wearing like 7 different layers.
Yeah.
And then
I remember that
second day was I think the cheating scene. Like I think we did a whole day for that.
Oh yeah, that's right. We did it like the second day, and we set like a whole.
To fucking kill me.
I remember that. But that was, I really loved that day because, I mean, prior to that, I had never done a scene like that. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right, it's like this really small room, and the scene is like relatively long in terms of like, not necessarily maybe dialogue, but like in terms of like blocking. We have like all these different points that we have to cover. So we had to do all that, and just the nature of the scene, right? Sometimes it's like, oh, is everyone comfortable to do this, all that, and everything. So, but that was probably my favorite day directing. Mm-hmm. Like that day, out of all the days that I've like other projects, whatever, that day I felt like the most successful and productive as a director. Like that one, I was like, okay, I think I figured it out. I know how I'm going to approach things now. That was the day. I remember that.
The second day was peak, and it was just all downhill from there.
Oh, man, damn, get someone else. Man, I can't do it. But I remember after that weekend, I was like, because I think people were asking if this was going to be the same crew or whatever. And I thought that for the most part, we were going to be swapping names out all the time. Yeah. And for the most part, we basically have the same crew. Yeah. Which is super helpful because everyone's like, all right, we know about it. Everyone knows each other. So it's easy to just get right into it. So
and even, again, the very few names that we've, I don't want to say like swapped out, but like maybe someone's come in because another person's busy, blend in very quickly. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Again, I've never done anything to drama or anything, but I don't know if it being a comedy helps out where it's like, we're just going to all kind of have just a little fun or whatever.
I think it makes it easier. So it's like, I mean, because, with dramas or whatever, for the most part, the how you're supposed to do it. The cast is, all right, or the crew rather, is supposed to let the cast be in their moment, do their thing. But with comedy,
one fucking smile. No.
Yeah. Oh man. But even then it's hard to just not, because you want levity to it. So both comedy, it's just easy to relax, whatever. All right, let's just have fun. But obviously, on this crew, like a lot of basically everyone knows each other from before starting the project. So that just makes it so much easier.
Yeah, and I would say it certainly helped out a decent bit when I'm your fucking dancing monkey. This guy, when he gets a fucking idea, I don't know if I'm talking to you, but will just come up to me and say it, because I'll just go, okay, dude. And I'll just do it.
It's in the moment, man. It's just those moments where, oh, man, I think this would be funny.
I like to point out, there's one part where I'm in a bedroom upset. It was just supposed to be me upset. We filmed for like an hour.
We filmed so long. Half of that footage, I know for a fact we can't use. I know for a fact. Because we started off, it's like the sun's out, and at some point, it's just pitch black in the room. Like, you cannot see anything of what's going on.
I also cracked my neck so good that day.
Everyone's what happened? I'm like, just keep going.
Yeah, I fucking throw myself onto this bed, and you hear the deepest crack in the world, and it's just every bit of my fucking spine compressing, and everyone's like, oh my God, is he okay? And Jane's like, keep going, Brian, keep going. I was like, this guy's got priorities.
I 100%. I without a doubt, I'm sure you can hear it in the audio. Without a doubt.
Yeah, everyone's like, ooh. That's exactly what, because I look up and I'm like, oh.
I remember that.
There's that, and then Connor getting yelled at by the woman.
Dude, I lost it. I felt so bad, but I was like, it was too funny, and you could see that he was like a little shook. He was a little shook after, but explain it.
So we were filming at this exterior location, and behind him was this theater. We weren't filming in the theater. We weren't, going into it. But we asked the people working, hey, can he just stand at the front door and make it kind of seem like he's walking out of it? They were game for that. That's fine. Right. Cool. We work with it. At one point, they propped open the door. So we said, perfect. Just put your hand on the door so it looks like you're pushing open the door.
Yeah.
The second his skin touched that glass, this woman came running over. Fucking, I told you can't go inside. Come on, he's also like 2 feet away from the. Yeah. Like, he's near the entrance, but Connor was like, I wasn't going in.
I've never seen someone so like, I don't even know. Shook is just the best way to explain it. Like, he was just shaken out of it, and like, because he was about to go into the scene. We were about to say action. He just was so taken out of it and so apologetic about it. That shit killed me.
And then again, you being the master of fucking wisdom, she yells. I don't mean to call you out. She yells, and at one point you go, all right, action. You fucking shoot her off. And I just remember looking at Max, and Max was like, yup.
Because we run out of time, man. There's all these, because they were having an event, and we're like, all right, like, let me get this shot in. Come on, let's go. Yeah. And we're waiting to this right moment, and then she like jumps in. I'm like, come on, let's go. Action, let's go.
You're burning daylight now.
Come on, let's go, man.
And then the guy at the end.
Oh my God. At that point, I was just like, all right. I don't know what to do at this point. It was just people walking in. The sound was an issue. I remember that.
They had like a bunch of motorcycles driving by at one point.
Yeah. Which is like vaguely expected, but it was just like so like, okay, you can't even hear the dialogue. And then, Mr. Famous just walking up to us talking.
Hey guys, what are you doing?
Yeah, in the middle of a take.
We're working.
As you guys are going back and forth with the dialogue, just walks into the shot. Hey guys. Oh, what are you doing there? What are you guys film? Bro,
I thought your head was gonna fucking explode.
I didn't even know what to say, because it's like, all right, I don't want to be a jerk.
Yeah.
Hey,
you want to pop in? What are you guys working on? Cool. And I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And then you guys packed up and left Connor and I with him.
I was like, bro, all right. Because at that point, it was like at the end of the day, and I remember we had to shoot other stuff after that. We had to film with Emily and Eliza. When you guys like walk in, I remember we had to do that.
I forgot that same day.
And then it's like I was like, all right, let's give it like 30 seconds. He'll do his thing, and we'll just reset a little bit, and then we'll go right back into it. Dude was giving his whole life story. He talking about how clouds are made. I'm like, dude, bro, come on, man. You can't be doing this. We got it. We got to move on.
That's my thing. Was like, clearly we're doing something.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't politely be like, hey man, we're kind of scounging for light and all that. Like,
it's. I think at that point it was just like, it's like, all right, what are you supposed to do? Because that wasn't even the only thing that annoyed me. It was like the sound, because it's like, all right, this guy walks away, but the sound's still a problem.
Yeah, they're moving the barrier thing.
Yeah. Oh, I remember they were moving that. They're screeching on the floor. It's like, oh, dude. It's because of Taylor Swift. That's what it is. It was because of Taylor Swift. That's the problem. They're having that event with all these people coming, and of course, the one day where we go to shoot there, they have that thing. And
we did get out of there before the Swifties showed up.
That we were very lucky. It could have been an issue, and we survived that encounter. So that was a big thing. But we love the Swifties. Remember that.
They're great.
They're great. She's gonna cameo in the show. I heard.
Yeah. You right. You got.
I heard she's gonna do a cameo. Yeah. I wonder what character she's gonna play.
I wonder what character you're gonna write.
It's just her. I don't know. It's just her. I don't know.
But see, it's like things like that where it was like the sound and that dude walking up where I'm like, is this normal? Or am I just getting... It felt like that day just felt like that was getting just fucked over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, I've had situations like that where it's like, you know, people, of course, you got a camera out, you got crew, you know, you got some guy holding the mic and all that. And, you know, I mean, I guess... For some reason, people still act like it's like a novelty, like nobody sees that, but people do that all the time. So it's kind of still weird. It's weird to me that people like still are like, what's going on over there? But most of the time that when I've done it, people just like they'll see what's going on, then they'll hang around, and then after like we'll cut or we're moving stuff around, they'll be like, oh hey, what's going on? Whatever. Dude, just nah. I'm going to walk in the middle of the shot and just... The show is mine now. That's what he did. He was like, whatever, who cares?
He knew it was Brandon filming. That's what it was.
Yeah, oh yeah. He was like, all right. Like, I'm the new character in the scene. I was like, bro, come on. It's not a bad guy.
No, nice dude.
No, you seemed okay. He gave me his card. I don't know. I don't know where it is now. I put it on my desk. I don't know. I don't even know what it was even for. I can't remember.
It was premium, like sinks. Or like shit like that. It was like handles and all that.
Yeah. Installation or something like that.
Yeah, he was like, I'm gonna give you $100. And I was like, yeah, I'll let you know when I use that, buddy.
He's like, yeah, I'm heading. I remember I walked up because I was like, oh, yo, guys, we're moving on to the next location. He's like, oh, I'm handing them out. Why not have one? I was like, thanks. What am I gonna do with this? Okay.
I really thought about ordering. Oh, also, I looked on the website.
Yeah.
He sells like $12,000 handles for kitchen cabinets.
Okay. Oh, what are they made out of? Are they like custom?
What are they made of? Styrofoam.
Well, I'm like, what would justify that price? That's my thing.
I think they're just really like bougie.
He's like, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, $1,300, and he gave us $100 off. Cheap bitch.
Bro, this is pennies. Like I can't. How am I gonna get this?
Throw a % on there,
bro. If you're giving me $100 off. I can't afford your thing. Like that's it. That just like I'm not going to be able to afford whatever you are giving me. If you were giving me $100 off, you know that shit is expensive. Like look, I cannot buy what you're selling me right now.
That's why. Speaking of that, Gavin films on a
Black Magic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
At one point, I don't remember what day we were filming. He looked at me and he goes, "Hey, can you hold this real quick?" And I said, "No." I was like, I ain't fucking touching that, man. Because I know those aren't cheap.
Dude, I don't know. I mean, it's basically, it depends which one. You know what I mean? But I think the one that he has, the 6K G2. I bought that one recently. I think it was like $1,300, $1,400, somewhere around that. I think I got a deal on it, but whatever. It was something along those lines.
You got $100 off like coupon on
I got $100 off coupon. That guy, he gave it to me for that.
Said, I got this.
He helped me out, but he's got it all rigged out. So you're talking about, I don't know, probably $3,000 right there. Just I don't even know. But I don't know nothing about camera. That's not my thing. I got one just to like try to learn one, and after a week, I'm like, let's be honest. Like, I'm not gonna learn this. Like, I like it. I pointed at stuff in my room. Oh wow, it looks so nice. No. Gavin gave me. I went to his house the other day, after the shoot, a couple days later, and he gave me I gave him all his gear, whatever that I had stuck in my car. Yeah. And he's like, yo, we were talking about lighting or whatever. He's like, yo, let me give you a leaving gift. I forget what the exact term, but something like that. Let me give you a parting gift. And I'm like, all right, whatever. He gives me like this whole light setup and everything. He's like, yeah, just test some stuff out. I've turned it on once since then, and I still have it in my room. And I'm just like I'm messing with the buttons. I'm like, okay, this is how you do it. But like, I set it up in my basement where it's like, where it's dark or whatever. You control a little bit better. But I'm just like, dude, what am I doing? I told my brother, I'm like, yo, stand in front of the light, whatever. I'll try to bounce it off a wall or something. Yeah. I got one light. What am I gonna do with one? I realize you can't do anything with one light. Well, like I cannot do anything. I'll buy. I'm sure if I really tried, I could really figure it out. But I'm like, this looks like shit. I can't. What am I doing? Leave it to the professionals.
No, and that's the thing is when we were filming in the basement, you had the one light that was hitting off about a board, right?
Yeah,
or some
yeah.
screen.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had like two others shooting, and I was like, what the fuck are these even doing? And then at one point you guys shut them off, and like the room went black, and I was like, fuck, that did a lot.
Because we were, the way we were pointing the shots, they were so far, we could see like basically the entire basement. Yeah. And so far deep. And obviously it doesn't look as nice if it's so dark in the background or anything. So we, just to like do one shot, we got like at least 6 to 8 lights, 6 to 10 lights on, and most of like, they got the
portable one.
Yeah, the portable one. They have the MCs and all that, and so we have smaller lights, whatever, and we had the key and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, you're gonna at least like 5 hair lights for you, Eliza, the extras in the background. You know what I mean? So you got all that stuff, and I mean, we got the party, disco mode version, on. So you got all that.
It is funny watching back that footage. Well, you have the audio, I have the video.
Yeah.
And, well, even just in the moment where it's like you have to act like you're in a party, but it's dead fucking silent.
It's so awkward. Dude.
I'm like screaming at Eliza, who's at the same distance that you and I are. And I'm like, this is so... And, like, the extras, they got to act like they're not even hearing this conversation.
Yeah. It's so awkward because I've done a couple of like those dancing scenes where it's not necessarily a party, but like more like intimate, like one-on-one dancing stuff. I've done a couple of those where they're like, it's easier because it's just those two actors, but it still doesn't help how awkward it is because it's supposed to be like an intimate moment, and like in the edit, the audience, they're taken by the music and it's so emotional, but like in the moment, it's just like dead silence, and you're just like, when do we cut? Like when do we stop? And I've worked with I remember a couple of actresses who were just like fantastic, and I love the scenes how they came out, but like as we're filming them, it's like, we need to dance to something. Like some people just can't do it. They need something to dance to like be in the moment, and it makes sense.
That's why when we started throwing the extras in, I was like, yo, Fiona, connect to a Beats pill or something. And then they started playing it so fucking low. I was like, Max, get on this and bump something. I was like, play whatever.
And things like that, it's easier because it's like, all right, we're not gonna use this audio anyway.
Exactly.
So we'll just play around with it. But with other stuff, it's like you just need you need the music. Mm-hmm. You need the music in the scene, and we're just like, how are we going to use this audio if we're going to use this music? Because we don't got enough money to use that copyrighted music. For a fact. So it's like, all right, come on, we can't have Cardi B playing in the background. All right, we can't have that.
Yeah.
But for that, it worked out. Mm-hmm. It was easy because again, we're just going to use whatever music we find later on.
another thing I was happy was at one point we just took the camera and just started walking around.
Yeah.
And then you just yelled out something and we would just keep bouncing back and forth or whatever. So
I think that was probably like before that, I remember being like, all right, I don't know how this is going to go, but we'll try our best. And I remember talking about before, and I talked to a couple of people on the crew, like, yo, I have a backup scene idea.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just in case this doesn't work out. And it was going to be easy, just you and Eliza in the parking lot, you know, coming out of like a liquor store or something, and just, you know, you get the nice, kind of nice, shitty lighting from, you know, the natural lighting or whatever, and we'll play around with it. But once like you said, once we got off the sticks and Gavin just started doing handheld, it felt a lot better. Then I was like, okay, this is going to work. You know, it's a little bit awkward in the moment, you know, because you're like, oh, yo, do this thing. Like this, or, you know, so it's like, especially, you know, most of the actors are like our pals, you know, people that we know. So it's like, they don't do this, you know.
There's one shot where the moment in the scene, which me and Eliza's friend Dom was on set.
Yeah.
And he looked over and the look he's fucking shooting us is like, I don't want to be looking at this. Again, we've known him for years. So
right.
He's just like, oh, those are my friends. What are they doing?
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy with everything that came out. I think
we also had more control of the situation.
Yeah, we had more time to just kind of do what we needed to do, and yeah, I mean, we were able to like, because I remember the only thing was like, I remember like the shots that I wanted to do for the original place. I'm like, dude, my reel's gonna look so good, man. I was like, oh man, I was coming up with the shots. I'm like, it's gonna be hard to do, but I was like, but even what we did come up with looks, I think it gives off more of.
Hey, they offered rescheduling.
They did. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that they couldn't just open the door. Whatever. You know what annoys me? I actually liked the way that place looked. Like,
it was nice.
It looked nice. I liked, like, they had the murals and all that. It looked really nice. It had this vibe. And I was like, okay, this could definitely work. So, you know, that's great. You know, however, what are you gonna do?
But again, in my mind, I'm thinking something was gonna go wrong there. Like, maybe it was like a blessing in disguise or something.
I think definitely 100%. I mean, I've had stuff like. One situation I remember for Secrets, we had, I think it was like a specific location, house or something. That's what it was. We were going to shoot at like a state park, and we were doing all these license or permits. That's what I mean, permits and stuff. And just last second, it just didn't go through, and it was like 3-4 days before the shoot. And we had like a bunch of people on crew, cast, and we had all this a stunt coordinator. We had all this stuff set up, and all the actors were ready for that because that's how they understood we were going to film it. Yeah. And we had to basically rework everything because that massive piece the location didn't just fell through. And we were like, all right, I don't want to just run to a random place, like, because the way that the scene was like set up was dependent on that location. So because we were gonna shoot like on this like bridge, and it was like a walking, you know, you walk in like the middle of a field, and it was like kind of like a swampy area, and it was like dependent on that bridge and specifically the way that location was set up. So I was like, all right, I know I'm gonna have to change the way that this scene is. So I'm like, all right, we gotta just give me like another week and we'll find another location. And it worked out and it was fine. And luckily everything went through. But stuff like that, you know, you just got to do it. And you know, have your bitch fit. Have that. I know for a fact I will do that. I set time aside for that. But like, I know that I won't be comfortable until it gets figured out. Yeah. Like, I will not be able to like sit down and relax until it does. And I think you need that in order for it to be like, okay, let's just figure it out. That's why when the thing happened, and that, again, somehow I'm progressing because I'm I usually have my bitch fit. I would have had it, and I think for the most part I didn't, and just was like, all right, I remember I was calling my buddy, hey, yo, you got this location? Do you have something? You know something? So stuff like that. It is a blessing in disguise because it just tends to work out, and you make it work.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we did. We did, and I'm happy with how it came out.
Well, that's the thing is, we boiled down that scene to like, what just has to happen in this scene?
Yeah.
Let's figure it out.
Right.
So, I think that was probably the most scared I've ever been of Fiona, though. How calm she said, "What? Let's go sit in the car." I felt like I was in trouble. I was like, "Okay."
I love having her on set. She's probably one of the best
She's
ADs,
amazing.
if not the best AD that I've worked with. Just because she's just so, to the T. Like she knows what she's doing. She's like, okay, all right, let's handle the situation. She'll figure it out. And it's just nice for me because I don't have to do anything, So I'm just like, all right, let me have fun. Let me just like do random stuff. So I don't have to think about the food or whatever. So I'm glad that she's on the project and she's able to just like, all right, let's figure this out.
I think it was the second day. She had ordered the food and she's like, I don't know how much it is. And I go, okay. And I just handed her the envelope with the budget. And I said, whatever it is, just throw the change in there.
Right.
I remember she walks back, just hands me and goes, please never hand me that amount of money again. She was like, I was like, oh, my bad. I probably should have just guesstimated. She's like, I opened that up and my heart sank, Bran. Like,
jeez.
Which if she would have come back and the envelope was empty, I mean.
Dude, it cost $20,000, dude. The pizza was that much money, bro. Oh, dude.
Talking about that day, I think we balled out that day. I think we had she got salad, penne vodka.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then I remember thinking, this budget's going to get eaten up real quick.
That's how it usually goes, man. With it's always, I try to just leave the budget just, I think I adjusted because with Maddox and with my other shoots or whatever.
Yeah.
It's so spaced out. We do a couple shoots during the month or whatever, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And I think personally what I do, it's probably not a good thing, but it's whatever. Yeah. I set up a specific budget just for that day for the most part, and just be like, all right, this is for the location, this is for the food. I mentally try to prepare myself all right, I'm gonna dump this amount of money, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part, other than that, haven't been balling out on anything else. Location for the most part has been at the apartment.
Yeah,
so,
that was,
I think every single thing we've shot is except the one with Connor and the one with Amy.
Oh,
you guys
yeah.
walking. So far, it's been there because we did the basement in your basement. We just did it for that. But it's also
can't wait to shoot the comedy club back there.
We can set it up, in the backyard. We could do it.
Yeah.
Just set up a quick shitty stage, but might have a problem with airplanes. Yeah, a lot of airplanes go by you.
Yeah,
I've noticed that.
And then, well, they're not my neighbors anymore, but those dickhead neighbors.
I like them. They're nice people. I remember that time.
Serious?
No.
Oh, I was like, what fucking neighbors?
Bro, ride or die for them, bro. I'm about them, man. They have a beautiful house, though. They have a beautiful house. I wish I had that house.
Ugly personality.
They have such a beautiful house. I just don't like where it's set up. I like.
Yeah.
It's such it to me. Looking at that house,
like them.
To me, that house looks like it should be on a 40-acre farm. That's how that house looks to me. But it's so nice. It's such a nice.
Real quick, my last interaction with them was probably a week before I moved out.
Yeah.
They were riding a dirt bike up and down the street, and I was like, all right, you piqued my curiosity with this one. So I go out and just watch them go back and forth. He's like, oh, I'm not trying to have an issue. I'm like, you're good, dude. I'm out of here. I don't give a fuck. And then this one girl's staring at me with lasers, and I'm like,
yeah.
Hi. She goes, is your name Brandon? I'm like, who the fuck are you?
She know your name, bro.
I was like, how do you know me? She's like, I just know you through some people. I'm like,
that's weird.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, well, that's a weird. I guess she's in the area, I guess, but also
don't be.
Yeah, who? I don't know. I don't know.
All I know is I was just like, okay, I'm happy I'm out of here.
Yeah, I remember when we were filming, not the most recent time, but the time before that when we were filming at your place for my thing. We were shooting with Jackie and Gabriella, and it was an easy scene, and we should have been out of there way sooner than we should have. But I mean, I don't know, we went to like 6 o'clock or something, and we started at like 11, whatever. But bad, yeah. No, yeah, that's not bad at all. But I remember there was like the planes, whatever, and that was whatever. Okay, you wait a couple seconds and just keep going. But then we had the neighbors, and they're, they I remember they're revving the car that they had, and I'm like,
that's my old alarm clock.
Yeah.
They'd rev that shit. For reference, my fucking bedroom would be like here, and then like not even 15 feet.
It's not even that. Yeah, no.
Would be where they rev the car where it sounds like fucking gunshots going off. Whatever.
I remember that that having that on that day, but then also like I guess like the family. I don't know if it was the mother, whatever family. Where like they were bouncing the basketball, and I'm like. But also, it wasn't even like a weekend. I think we shot like on a Wednesday or a Tuesday or something.
It's a good fucking school.
Yeah, I was like, what's going on here? And like, because it was like midday, whatever. And I remember me and Dan Morales, like we went over and we're like, hey, like we're filming something. I know you guys are just doing your thing, but if we can just, and they like just cut us off, and they're like, oh yeah, we're filming too. Like,
go fuck yourself.
I was like, come on, man. Like, we don't got to be like that. I was like, all right, because I thought about it. I'm like, all right, we're coming to them on their property. Like, let's be appropriate about it. Obviously, you got to be respectful because we're asking something of them. But it didn't work out, obviously. But after like 15, 20 minutes, then they went inside. I'm just like, all right, let's just go on lunch or something. Like, whatever. Let's just get some food. But, what are you going to do?
Yeah, no, they were, when we would film there and they would rev that, I think one of the first times Fiona was like, the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Wait, those are the neighbors. Get used to it. We're filming here.
It's a pain in the ass, but whatever. I just hope the audio is okay. Like,
I was listening to it. It's fine.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Which, I got a fucking bone to pick with you.
Oh, man. It wasn't me. I didn't do it.
Sure. There's like 5 audio tracks that have no fucking slates on them. And who's the voice I hear? Scene 6, whatever. It fucking walks off, and I'm just like, scene 6, no slate.
I remember there must have been a bunch of times where I was just like, oh man, I feel bad for the editor. just like, all right, they'll figure it out. We'll be fine.
It's that there's so many things that are like from having to label all the audio tracks that is just said over and over again, which is you going, I feel bad for the editor, and then Fiona just being like, Brennan. Like I'm getting like a fucking child. But
damn, I feel bad for the editor, bro. Damn, that shit's gonna be wild.
But it was that, and then just like dealing with those, and I guess the headaches we've had because we weren't renting out Ace, but we were borrowing a location, and then
right.
But you had what was the one where you told me a story? You traveled a really long way, but he had a location that was like the next neighborhood over or something like that.
Oh my god, dude! We were filming. I wanted to film at like some farm, right? And this guy, I remember there was a picture of it online. And I had gone back and forth with this guy, and the pictures look great. Massive space, just open field, and like, your typical traditional, farm-like vibe. And that's what I wanted. I wanted it to be like this massive just space. I wanted, like, each scene, I wanted to like be a new environment. Like you're going to this brand new space. And I wanted to do that. And it was a great spot from the pictures. And basically we had gotten there, and it was deep South Jersey. And I can't remember where it was. I can't remember. But it was at least like 2-hour drive, and we're asking an entire crew. I don't know how many people, maybe like 10 or something, So not too crazy, but still. And the actor that I was working with, from like New York, so he's like has to come over. We had to pick him up, whatever, do the whole thing. But I remember getting there, and I'm like, all right, I'm hyped, and I see the spot, and I'm like, like I saw the house, and I saw some of the horses. I'm like, oh, this is gonna look good. It's gonna look good. But I'm like, where's the rest of it? Like this, like, where is everything else? And it wasn't like a small spot where we were, but like compared to the pictures, it was massive. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking, I'm like, and I tell Brian, I'm like, yo, dude, where's? I was telling, listen, I'm gonna give me 5 minutes. I'm gonna walk around this place, and I'm gonna find where exactly I saw it. I did. I couldn't find it. So, and I find this guy, and I felt, no. This guy, he was an older guy. Mm-hmm. So, I don't think he was too tech savvy. So I'll throw that out there. But I'm talking to him like, I couldn't do it myself because I was so like annoyed at the situation. I was like, I hope what I think is not the truth. So I gave it to Tom Coraggio. I'm like, hey, who's my
Fuck
AD?
That guy. No. I'm not gonna lie. I like Tom.
He's a great guy. I love Tom. But
if he's watching, he's having a stroke that these aren't whipping back and forth.
he likes his whip pants. He does. But I gave him my phone. I'm like, hey, look, can you please go up to this guy, show him the pictures from the website on his thing, on his listing, and ask him where these are.
Ask him where?
Yeah, what's going on here? And Tom goes to him. He's like, hey, man, you know how Tom is. So nice, whatever. And that's why he did it and not me. Yeah. He's the guy to talk to.
Yeah. He put on his avatar hat.
Exactly. He put on his avatar hat. He was ready. And then he approached the conversation. And he talked to this guy, and, he tells him whatever. And Tom just comes to me, and he's like, yeah, so no. He's like having the conversation, and clearly the conversation drawing on for too long. So I'm like, Tom, just get the answer. So I'm like, I don't know what he was talking to him about, asking him about the dog, the horse. I don't know what he was talking about. So I have to jump in the conversation. I'm like, hey, man.
Time out real quick. I wasn't there that day, and you don't know who this guy is. This is the most accurate fucking thing in the world. Like, this is too fucking deep.
But he's just talking to him about like random stuff. I'm like, because he's like trying to be nice, so he's like trying to pull the information out of him without like trying to be a jerk. So that's Tom's style, which is absolutely useful. But me, who is not patient, I go in there and I'm like, hey, look, where is this, dude? Like we had talked about it before online. These are the pictures you have in your thing. What's going on here? And he's like, oh. Yeah, man, that's my other farm up in like by Montclair. It wasn't Montclair, but it was somewhere around here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I just like I didn't even like freak out. I just like, all right, give me a minute. And I just like walked away. I'm like, all right. And I talked to Brian about it. I'm like, yo, dude, this is not... Because we had prepared for those pictures. And of course, this is an indie thing. So it was rough because obviously this is also a private property. So we're not going to go 2-3 hours, to this location and not film anything beforehand. Mm-hmm. I wish we could, but, that just wasn't the situation. So, but we had prepared what was on the pictures and what we had talked to about this guy. And... or to this guy, and he's like, oh, that's not my spot. It was in Sparta. That's where it was. It just hit me. Which was literally like 10 minutes away from our other location, which was the next day. And I'm like, bro, the amount of gas money that I would have saved, I was like, dude, it was just it would have just been so easier. And I asked him, I'm like, okay, well, Tom asked him because I walked away at this point. And Tom was like, oh, like, how can we go
Tom
there?
Got his family story, and then he asked him.
Tom talked to him about the weather and then decided to get the real answers. I love you, Tom. It's not personal. But no, so he's like, he's like, okay, like, can we go to this location again? Or like, when can we go there? Like, what's the situation? He's like, oh, we can't go. It's not going to be ready for like next year because it was like some construction or something. I'm like, what construction are you doing to a farm? Like, dude, this is a massive property. I don't know, whatever reason we couldn't go there. So, and honestly, I wasn't gonna.
Tom would have found out.
Tom would have. He just wanted to know. He wanted to know just for the sake of it. But I'm just like, all right, whatever. So I talked to Brian about it. I'm like, all right, let's just film something. We're here. Everyone's coming.
Which is a good mentality, because when we had the situation, it was cameras are rolling today. We don't know what
exactly.
But cameras are rolling.
We got to film something. Whereas we're here. Let's seize the day, whatever kind of thing. So it worked out, and I was happy with the footage, and it came out great. So whatever.
Was that for Secrets or something else?
It was for the prequel that I'm working on. So yeah, I know it was. You
were one of the busiest motherfuckers I've ever met in my life.
Dude, it doesn't feel like it. I don't know why, but it doesn't feel like I am.
Oh, look at Mr. Humble Brag over
here. But no, like it genuinely does it. Like I wish I was doing more stuff. I'm like, but you know, people are busy there, whatever. Yeah. If I could shoot every single weekend, every single day, I would do it.
Yeah.
But what are you gonna do? It is what it is.
Well, that's the thing is, again, doing, you do obviously more the action, more serious and everything.
Yeah.
That's why, again, you probably looked at Maddox like, this is a walk in the fucking park.
I was like, well, actually, no, because I was like, I know how I want to film, to portray, my other stuff. And I'm glad you brought that up because that reminded me of something. It was just, this first, I was like, how do I do a comedy? How do I do that? Because, I'm used to like dark lighting, whatever, just making it all shadowy, whatever, based off whatever scene that it needs to. And just blocking the scene, whatever, it all adds up to the kind of thing that you want to do. And with this, I'm like, all right, well, it's like learning a new language. It's like, okay, I speak, the action, sci-fi, whatever, that kind of stuff. But it's like, how do I actively speak comedy to people who are fluent in it, And I was like, all right, well, brighter lighting. It's not that, just more lighter tones and all of that and everything. Yeah. So, just obviously the comedy's the comedy, so you just got to let you guys just do what you got to do and, just have the correct shots to portray those certain things. And of course, I added my own stuff. We do the couple of dolly shots and I like that kind of stuff. But yeah.
Which I will say, like watching you and Gav talk, it is like Picasso fucking painting. It is, because in my mind, you'll say, oh yeah, we're going to do a movement from here and then we're going to push in here. And in my head, I'm going, I don't know what the fuck any of that means. But then I'll look back at the footage and I'm like, that was fucking smart. That was good.
See, Gavin, I think I rely on a lot of Gavin's like visual, like in terms of like lighting and just like how to portray certain moments in terms of that. Because you can take the exact shots that we did for that and just light it slightly differently and it's an entirely different mood. So I rely a lot on his know-how on doing that. But just like certain shots, I'm like, hey, look, I want to try this dolly. Let's get it from this angle. Let's do this. So I'll set that up. Yeah. And he's like, okay. Let's look at the place. Let's figure it out and go from there, kind of thing. But in terms of that, it's just what you're doing. I know what I'm doing here. Let's combine that. Okay, let's do that. So, but actually, Gavin and I have only worked. No, okay. Before we did Maddox, we shot together once. In terms of the relationship of a director and DP.
Okay.
Before that, I always had him like key grip on my stuff because I always worked with Brian, and we still do. We shot the other day, me and Brian, but so that this was like new for me and actually like super helpful for me. But I was like so nervous because I'm like, okay, Brian knows how stupid I am. He knows how to fix my mistakes. Gav, we know each other, of course. We've known each other for a long time, but like not in that like direct DP relationship. So as we like worked on it, and obviously day by day, it's like okay, now we're like what you're doing here, and okay, kind of like that. So it worked out. But I remember doing Maddox. Obviously, I went over a couple of stuff of how like it was so different for me doing that. But in another aspect where I had to adjust, where it was like doing my own thing, it's like, okay, I'm writing it. I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm getting the places, locations, everything, 100%. It's all coming out of there. And like, if I want to make a change, whatever. Okay. Whatever. But like working with someone else's script, idea, just rhythm, I guess. It's like so different. And I think it's been pretty easy between you and I. I mean, I think it's been pretty good. See, I mean, that's what I say here, but that's not what I tell everybody else, but no,
feelings mutual, don't worry.
They know, people, they know, but but no, it's been easy in the way it's like, okay, this guy, in my mind, it's like, okay, this guy knows comedy. I know how to, jumpstart the production. Okay, let's go with that. And then we'll just write off of each other of what we know how to do. And that's, I think, for the most part, how we've gotten it done. But it's, in that sense where it's like, it's been a massive, like, easy, but still massive change for me, adjustment where it's like, okay, especially like early on when we were like, okay, this is exactly what the script is going to be. Mm-hmm. It's like, I can't just throw random spaceships in there and superhero. Like, I can't just do that. That's not what this is. It's like you're learning a new language in someone's specific dialect. This is how they imagine this. This is how they view that. So that's, I remember like asking so many questions. Okay, is this what you imagine? Where are you going to go from here? Because if you want to go here eventually, okay, then we can, kind of foreshadow that in a way, kind of ride that highway until eventually get to that stop where you want to go on to. So that it's been like a massive just learning process, but it's been a very, I think, very easy and necessary.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing is probably one of our first interactions, I straight up told you, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I go, but you do. And I go, so just work with me.
Yeah.
And it was even like little things where like the cheating scene is, you're like, oh, he has a blanket on me. He goes, what kind of blanket? I'm like, it's a great question. And then you fucked up my listings for Amazon after ordering the fucking panda blanket. But it's little things like that where even like slight adjustments. Like I know in that scene it was originally like the guy had his shirt off, and you're just like, man, it's just not working. Yeah. And in the long term, I think you're absolutely were right. So it's nice having someone who's like, this isn't working out how you think it is. But then on other aspects, you also will allow us to push. And again, it's fun. I would say there's probably 2 or 3 scenes that we kind of just threw the dialogue out.
Yeah.
And as long as we got to the point.
Right.
Which Emily started that, I'll be honest. You said, hey, why don't you guys improv a little? And her and Sarah went back and forth.
Dude, that is like the funniest thing ever. I remember, is there only scene in which they go back and forth in the morning? Is that the only part where they go back and forth? Or is there more?
I think that's the only time they interact.
There might be something else. I can't remember. But that part where you and Sarah walk out and she's there, whatever. I remember that. That was great. I remember just dying laughing that day. She's great. They're all the actresses are fantastic.
And that's the thing is we actually have a very stacked cast of just people who are also just like no one's a dick.
Yeah.
Except for some directors.
Yeah, I mean there's some people. We're not gonna name names, but Sarah. No, she's great. She's absolutely fantastic.
Even though I will say during that scene, I was having a fucking panic attack. And both of them, Adrian and Sarah, were absolutely troopers during that.
Yeah.
I understand. And I think I was talking to either Sarah or Adrian about it. It's like they were obviously the focal point, making sure they're okay. I had to walk in on it.
Yeah.
Still jarring to me. I'm watching like 2 people I know. I didn't really know Adrian at the time.
Yeah. I remember doing that.
I had to walk in on that, and then 3 people behind the camera fucking staring at me as well.
Yeah, I remember that day. That was an interesting day. I mean, that's like I said before. That was like one of my favorite shooting days. As an adjustment, and as we all kind of like had to come together and work on that scene and make sure everyone was comfortable and all that. Jackie was a big help with that. Because I was like, look, I don't know how am I supposed to have that kind of conversation? Because Jackie's so like immediately she gets into a conversation so personal and all that, personable rather, and she was easily able to, all right, Sarah, this is what we're doing. Okay, let's talk about this. What works? What and with Adrian too, it was great. It was super easy. So we were just like, all right. What I was worried about, I'm like, Gavin, just don't. Please, let's just get the focus right. Let's just make sure it's good. Like let's make sure we got it. And he did it. It was like I think at least 2 or 3 fantastic takes. I was like, after I was like, okay, we're good. Like we're
got it and we were done.
Yeah, and we moved on. It was good. It was really good that day.
And that's the thing is also what I like, and this is a very much a amazing thing about you is. What the fuck was that?
It needed some kind of reaction. There needed to be something.
Is, you didn't bite off more. You didn't go, no, I know what I'm doing. I can do this. I can do this. And then, you called in Jackie. And then another time when she wasn't available, we had Olivia come in. So it was, it's very, because there's some people who probably would have been, oh, no, I think I can handle it. And then it just fucks everything up.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing with I'm sure I said it before, but with taking on the comedy thing or camera work, lighting, whatever. It's all different language. With the whole intimacy coordinator, world, approaching that is can be so touchy, and it has to be good, worked about the right way. Yeah. And I'm like, I know for a fact that I am not experienced enough to go about that. So I'm like, let's bring in people who definitely more so are and who have dealt with those kinds of situations before. And it worked out. So,
yeah. Well, that's the thing is between everyone on the crew, the cast, it's been absolutely a pleasure. And I just appreciate you even just taking it on because it was outside of your field and, certainly a little bit of a risk.
No, yeah, absolutely. But no, it's definitely been a worthy risk because I love the footage that's come out so far. And the crew's been fantastic. Cast members have all been great. I love all the people that we've met so far and absolutely want to work with each one of them more and more and more. And it's been a great experience. And I think there needs to be more.
Nice. So. I've got a couple ideas I'm going to pitch to you to get your opinion on. But listen, man, I also appreciate you doing this.
Of course.
And also a shout out to Julian.
Julian the GOAT. That's Julian.
But anyways, I appreciate it, man. And I never know how to end one of these, so
that's it. Until next time. Until next time.
Peace out. Thank you, man.
Of course.